Hello and welcome to Nintendo Engineers. I'm your host Chris Dices, and we are here to review Puzzle Box Maker. I've been waiting for this game for a while since it was announced a while ago for the Nintendo Switch, and it is an exclusive game. It is not a port, it's not enhanced, it's all exclusive, brand new for the Nintendo Switch, which is something that you don't hear about in the first year of the Nintendo Switch's life. But it's going to be interesting to see what this game is all about, and we shall get right into it right now. Yes, Puzzle Box Maker. It's a very interesting game. It's a very interesting game. Now, I got into the game late at night, and the first thing that got me confused was the menu screen, because you're trying to find where to get into the game, and it has this action view which looks really, really cool. So just bear in mind when you start up the game, your Pro Controller or controllers will be in a bit of a gyro mode. So if you're wondering why the cursor in the game is all going wibbly wobbly, it's in the gyro. It took me a few moments to figure it out. But the interesting thing about this game is how creative that you can be with it, and it is something I guess that some people will compare to Super Mario Maker, but I think it is a game that does well in certain aspects, and probably a little tidy up work that needs to do it. So let's look into some of the modes. So it's got lots of pre-designed levels. So you're sort of making your own levels. You can make them with the blocks and things like that, different colors, which is fantastic. There is a mode where Copycat, where you fill in numbers on the screen, scoreboard, and doing sort of different colors and things like that. The bomb, which helps to guide your explosives, and you get tokens and little funny things like that. And the last one is where you are the Kirby or Colby, is where you're like a floating little cube, which I thought that sort of mode was fantastic. There's also a sort of a running mode that I saw too, which when you make up your stage and level, you can play it out in the sort of the 2D, the 2.5D sort of environment that's been made here. And that was something that I thought was really, really cool to do. Now, and the thing that I liked is that you can make these levels, these little 2D puzzle levels, and you can immediately play them on the screen, which I think is really, really cool. So I was very, very impressed by that. I think that the main part that I enjoyed was playing in the as the box going around. You help get the dog to the meals, and you got to avoid all these bad guys, and you pick up these bombs and you throw them at your own level design, and it blows up on the screen, and just some of those fun things that are really, really cool. One of the modes that I didn't like was the claw, where you're moving around. It's sort of like an arcade claw, and you're sort of picking up those sort of things. I don't think the controls, the physics, or whatever it was, really clicked together for that. So I think it's very, very interesting, this game altogether. So, what do I think of it overall? What's the whole overall picture? So there's sort of arcade stuff, and there's high scores, and there's making your own puzzles, and you bring them to life. It's a game that's kind of got a little bit of everything mashed together. And with that menu screen that I talked about earlier in the review, it does seem a little confusing at times. But I think after a while, you will get used to it in respects to, the whole game and that. So I think overall, I had a pretty good time with the game. I liked all the levels that were made. I think the online mode is going to be quite active with a lot of people making up puzzles and things like this. This could be the thing that could itch the scratch of me versus people. Instead of drawing stuff, you could make up little blocks and levels and that. Maybe B plus, the developer, should expand on the idea of blocks and giving them different colors and different little flavors to it. You know, not saying go Minecraft or Lego Worlds on it, but yeah, there's a potential there for him to expand on that. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So we'll head back to the Nintendo Ninja News desk and see what my final result is. So, Puzzle Box Maker, what do we make of it? It's a bit of a mash of all these different features and things like that, and it's a really interesting game because at face value you see a couple modes in it, then you discover the claw game and sort of a running game and a sort of a platformer, and then you can make these levels, and it's got all these different features kind of throwing at you, and with the online mode where you can do online, you can download other people's levels and things like that via that website. It's going to be really, really interesting for people to sort of be very creative in this game. So I would give it a 7.5. Still think there's a little bit of work to be done on the menu stuff. A few other modes that don't quite gel very well. But it's a game where it's a bit of a hit and miss game, where some things it really hits on the nail and it looks really fun to play in the creative side. And there's other times where it just sort of misses the mark and you just go, I probably won't use that mode again. But this game's probably be getting regular updates. It'll be interesting to see how different this game looks in a year's time compared to its release day. So, that's it for me, and I shall see you later on.